Hello everybody, this is Tim from Recreational Retirement YouTube channel. Because everyone deserves a little R&R, Cindy and I made our way to one of our favorite places in Frankfort, Capital Cellars, for a nice bottle of wine and a meat and cheese platter. We enjoy sitting on the sidewalk and enjoying the evening air and a little slice of downtown Frankfort, Kentucky. Just as we were settling into our table, someone asked us if we were downtown for the train. That's where this story starts. Using Wikipedia as my source, I'll tell you a little bit about what's happened. The Chesapeake and Ohio 2716 is a 284 Kanawha type steam locomotive built in 1943 by the American Locomotive Company for the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway. While most railroads referred to these locomotives as Berkshires, the C&O referred to them as Kanawhas after the Kanawha River, which flows through West Virginia. Used as a dual-service engine, the 2716 and its classmates served the C&O in a variety of duties until being retired in 1957. It was donated to the Kentucky Railroad Museum of New Haven in 1959. The number 2716 has been restored to operation and excursion service twice since its retirement from the C&O. First in 1981 for the Southern Railway steam program until 1982, and again in 1996 for a few brief excursions in Indiana. Today the locomotive is undergoing restoration for its third excursion career under lease by the Kentucky Steam Heritage Corporation. 2716's history: it was the seventh member of the 90 Kanawhas built by C&O, by Alco, and the Lima Automotive Works between 1943 and 1947. These locomotives were used for heavy freight trains as well as passenger trains. After only 13 years of service, the C&O retired 2716 in 1957 in light of dieselization. With the exception of the 13, including number 2716, C&O scrapped all their Kanawhas in 1961. In 1959, the locomotive was donated to the Kentucky Railroad Museum in New Haven, Kentucky, where it sat on display. 20 years later, in the spring of 1979, the Clinchfield Railroad leased the 2716 for their steam program. However, as the locomotive was taken apart for restoration, the Clinchfield steam program was canceled due to its parent company, the Seaboard Coastline Industries, oust the Clinchfield Railroad General Manager Thomas Moore, and he was fired for participating in a scandal of misappropriated money. The result of returning the disassembled 2716 to the Kentucky Railroad Museum with a very uncertain future. Luckily, in 1980, the 2716 was leased to the Southern Railway to pull the longer and heavier passenger trains for their popular steam excursion program. The Southern bought the locomotive to their Irondale, Alabama steam shops, where some modifications were made to the number 2716 by master mechanic Bill Purdy. Purdy's general idea was to make the locomotive appear as if Southern would have purchased a 284 type from new. The 2716 was painted black with gold pinstriping, as well as its headlight was moved from its pilot to the center of the smoke box door. Decorated with brass flag holders, the General Counsel Jim Bernstein's brass eagle. In addition, the 2716 had its bell swinging from the top of its smoke box and carried the round SR emblems into air pump shields. After operating on a test run on October 10th and 11th of 1981, the 2716 pulled the first Southern Railroad excursion on October 17 and 18, running a round trip from Chattanooga, Tennessee to Rockwood, Tennessee. In November, the 2716 pulled excursion trains in Alabama and Georgia. In April of 1982, the locomotive resumed its excursion duties, pulling trains through North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. But just 3 months later, a very inexperienced fireman damaged the locomotive's firebox. This resulted in the 2716 to be taken out of excursion service for repairs, and the Nickel Plate Road number 765, another 284 based in Indiana, was called into service as the 2716's replacement. Following the merger between the Southern Railway and the Norfolk and Western to form Norfolk Southern Railway, the 2716 was retired in favor of the Norfolk and Western 611, serving as the main motive power for the steam program. The 2716 was placed in storage at the Irondale Steam Shop in 1985 after attempts to weld cracks in the firebox actually failed. After Norfolk Southern ended their steam program in 1994, the Fort Wayne Railroad Historical Society, the same owner as the number 765, moved the 2716 into their facilities a year later. In July 1996, they restored it to their original C&O appearance, repaired its firebox, and operated it on a brief push-pull excursion through Logansport, Indiana, before the Federal Railroad Administration inspectors ordered to give either the 2716 new flues or the number 765 a complete overhaul. The latter was the end result. It was decided to return the 2716 back to Kentucky Railroad Museum in 2001. In May of 2018, the Kentucky Railroad Museum partnered with CSX to move the locomotive to the former Louisville and Nashville Railroad yard in Ravenna, Kentucky, to build a new rail-based tourist and community development system. In November 2018, the Kentucky Steam History Center acquired the 3 items of rolling stock from the Indiana Transportation Museum, such as an auxiliary tender, the number 251958, which was originally used by Norfolk and Western 611 in the 80s, and it went to ITM in 88. In addition, the KSHC purchased the railroad post office card number 656 and the baggage card number 9036, which were both originally owned by the Pennsylvania Railroad. From July 26 to the July 28th of 2019, the 2716 was moved out of the Kentucky Railway Museum to Ravenna for restoration, along with the help of CSX and the R.J. Corman Railroad Group. And that's what you saw in the videos moving through Frankfort. Cindy and I hope to follow up on the 2716 after its restoration and possibly take an excursion on it in the near future. If you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you'll know when our next video hits the YouTubes. And that's all today from Recreational Retirement, where everyone deserves a little R&R. We sign off by saying good luck, safe travels, and cheap gas.